throw that into the mix then. Stop. Right. Okay, number 3, so on page 75, okay. So the linear equation is x minus y equals 0. So rearrange, so you've x equals or y equals. So we'll leave x where it is. Bring over the y, there's no number. So x is the same as y. So that means everywhere I see a y, I can put in an x. Or you can do it the other way around. Everywhere you see a y, what did you do? Replace x or replace y? Y. So you go x squared. So y is the same as x. So instead of that y, I'm writing x squared as well. Right? So that's 2x squared. I'll bring over the 18. Minus 18 equals 0. Right? Everything divides by 2. Right? Which you have to do because you won't recognize what it is unless you divide everything by 2. So you get x squared minus 9 equals 0. So that's x to be squared. Take away 3 to be squared. It's the difference of 2 squares. This is type 3. Right, the difference of 2 squares. So when you have the x squared term, the x term and the number. Right. Finished? Chatting? Rachel, I'm looking at you. Right? So x squared take away 9 is, you're missing, you have the x squared term, you don't have the x term, but you have the number. Okay? So that's 2 sets of brackets. X and x, 3 and 3, and a plus and a minus. Okay? Difference of 2 squares. Type 3. Remember, type 1 was the minus b formula, or the 2 sets of brackets. Type 2 was take out what's common. Type 3 is the difference of 2 squares. So if you don't have 3 terms, it's either type 2 or type 3. So if you're missing the x term in the middle, it's always the difference of 2 squares. Yes? No, you have to do it this way. Well, do you know what? You could actually do the minus b formula, but a is a number in front of x squared. B is a number in front of x. So what's b equal to? There is no x. So what's in front of x? 0. And c is equal to minus 9. So you could still use the minus b formula. But will you spot that b is 0? Do you know? Yeah, you see, you might miss that. So I think it might be better just to use the minus b formula for the type 1. And for type 2 and type 3, recognise what they are. Yes?
So if you don't actually turn, just do type 1, type 3, and just see which one works.
Yeah. Right? Okay, then you let each bracket equal 0. So x plus 3 equals 0. X minus 3 equals 0. So that means x is equal to, when you bring over the plus 3, it becomes a minus 3. When you bring over the minus 3, it becomes a plus 3. So for each x, you have to have a y. But x and y are the same thing. So if x is minus 3, y is minus 3, because they're the same, right? And if x is 3, y is also 3. So there's one set of answers, and there's the other set of answers. Is that okay? Yeah.
When I said, I divided by 2, the x, and then I said, say I did the y, so I said y squared equals 9, and then I said y equals square root of 9, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. And did you know that the square root of 9 can be 3 or it can be minus 3?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Yeah, if you recognise that, that's brilliant. Okay, some people just do the plus, and they forget that minus 3 squared is also 9. Yes?
Would you have said that the y squared stood for x? Like at the start,
Yeah, so you could have done here, so you would have ended up with 2y squared minus 18 equals 0. Divide by 2, you get y squared minus 9 equals 0. You'd solve for y, and you get y is minus 3 and y is 3, and then you say, well, x is the same.
Yeah, Chris, I did that, but I don't understand how I was supposed to get the other.
Right, which other?
Because I just ended up with like 2 brackets and stuff.
You ended up with 2 brackets?
No, I didn't, because I had.
What did you, tell me, did you end up with, did you replace x or y?
I said x equals y.
So, did you end up with here 2y squared equals 18?
Yeah, and then I put both over 2.
And you said y squared is equal to 9?
Yes, and I said y equals 3.
Yeah, so y is the square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, or the square root of 9 could also be minus 3. Because what's minus 3 squared?
9.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's 2 answers there, okay? So if you're doing it that way, you have to recognise that minus 3 squared will also give you 9. So there's two possibilities. Yeah, so if you do it this way,
It would be easier.
yeah, you're less likely to forget.
Okay.
Okay? Right? Okay, any more questions for me? No. Can I move on to revise the indices? And, oh yes, there's one section there, right, which was an easy section, okay, but you might forget it. Right? You know the way if I said x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0, and I said to you, solve. Right? Okay? Some of you would use the minus b formula, some of you would factorize, and you get x and x, 4 and 1, a minus and a plus, and then you let each bracket equal 0, x minus 4 equals 0, so you get x equals 4, and you get x plus 1 equals 0, so you get x is equal to minus 1, right? That's type 1, that's what we would have been doing earlier in the week, right? Okay, right. The next section, girls, that I have to revise is, what if I tell you the answers? So what if I tell you the roots is another word for answers, solutions, right? The roots are 4 and minus 1. So the roots are 4 minus 1. Right, yeah. So that means your answers are 4 and your answers are minus 1. Remember these ones? And then you're going backwards. So that means I originally had x minus 4 equals 0. I originally had x plus 1 equals 0. Isn't that right? They were originally, x minus 4 was originally the first bracket, and the second bracket was x plus 1 equals 0, and then you multiply out. So how do you multiply out? You split up the first bracket, write the second bracket down twice. So it's x times x plus 1 minus 4 times x plus 1 equals 0. Multiplying out, you get x squared plus x minus 4x minus 4 equals 0. I'm flying because I get the impression from you that you know this. Yeah? So if I'm wrong, tell me. Plus x minus 4x is minus 3x. Minus 4 equals 0. Will that be in the test? I don't know. I can't remember. I'm not being smart or whatever. I can't actually remember whether there's one of those on it or not. Okay, when I looked at it, I knew what was on it, but I can't remember now. Yeah, that's got to do with old age as well. When you get to my age, you only retain the information that's important to you. Everything else is. Is it a long test? It'll be the 40 minutes. Yeah.
And does each question link in with each other, like?
As in, do you have to use the answer from one to do the next one? No. Right? Okay. Are we okay with that section? Right. Can I revise the indices so with you very quickly? Right. Okay. So I'm just going to spend 5 minutes revising the indices with you, and then I'm going to leave you all off to do your own questions, and you can ask me your own individual questions then. Right? Okay. So we did the laws of indices, but I'm going to go straight to the crunch, as in I'm going straight to a similar question that will be on the test. So if I said to you, wait not, I see, 27 to the power of x equals 81. Right. So normally you'd say, well, this is the power of 27, so can I write 81 as the power of 27? And the answer is no. Right? So make everything, you have to pick a number that's smaller, that you can write 27 as a power of it and 81 as a power of it. Now girls, it's always going to be 2, 3 or 5, right? Okay, or 7. So it's going to be 2, 3, 5 or 7, right? Okay, it'll never be bigger than that. Okay, so obviously it's going to be what? 3. So what's 27? 3 to the power of 3. Right, this is where you need your fingers, and you go 3 by 3 is 9, by 3 is 27. Right, okay, so I'm to look down and I'm to see people counting on their fingers. Right, so it's 3 to the power of 3, all to the power of x. Now 81, you go 3 by 3 is 9, by 3 is 27, by 3 is 81. So you multiply 4 3s and you'll get 81. Okay, there's no button on the calculator to say 81 is 3 to the power of 4. But you can type in the 3s and count them. Okay, is that alright? Okay, so raising a power to a power, you multiply. So 3 to the power of 3x is 3x. 3 to the power of 4 is just 3 to the power of 4. So once you've 1 3 to the power of equals 1 3 to the power of, you knock them off, you get 3x equals 4, and then you divide by 3. So x is equal to 4 over 3. Yeah? Okay, another one of those, right? How about one where one's upstairs and one's downstairs? 4 to the power of x equals 1 over 32. Right. This is written as 4 to the power of. Can you write 32 as 4 to the power of? No. Because 4 to the power of 1 is 4, to 2 is 8, 3 is 16, and then it goes up to 64. So it bypasses 32, so you can't do it. So that means you have to go smaller than 4. So you can write everything as a power of 2. So what's 4 as a power of 2? 2 to the power of 2, all to the power of x equals 1 all over 32. 2 by 2 is 4, by 2 is 8, by 2 is 16, by 2 is 32. 5. Okay? Now, raise a power to a power, I multiply. So 2 by x is 2x. Now, over here I have a problem, because this is upstairs, this is downstairs. They have to be at the same level, so I need to bring this upstairs. So bring it upstairs and it becomes what? 2 to the power of minus 5. So then you put 2 to the power of equals to 2 to the power of, knock it off. And you get 2x is equal to minus 5. And then you divide by 2 and you get x is equal to minus 5 over 2. Right? How do you feel about these? Yeah. Will I do one more? Right, one more. And then I'm leaving you off.
Could you give it one where they're both like downstairs?
Where they're both?
Like downstairs with like their share.
Say?
Right, could you be given the question like where it's like 1 over 4x equals 1 over 32?
Right, you could, but you know what? You don't need to do anything there, because that's like the one over there. Yeah, because they're both downstairs. You can cross them out. You know, you'll end up with 1 over 2 to the power of 2x equals 1 all over 2 to the power of 5. Because they're both downstairs, you can knock off the 1s and knock off the 2 to the powers, and you'll get 2x equals 5.
Would you have to change the sign instead of?
No, because they're both downstairs. You only have to move them if one's upstairs and one's downstairs. Right? Okay, is that alright? I'm going to do one like this. 4 to the power of x minus 1 equals 2 to the power of x plus 1. Right, this is 4 to the power of... Lads, will you stop chatting down there? Really? Right? I think I'll have to move the tree. You're very friendly. Right? So I am going to move you. Right? So there's a space up here. So who's coming to be my best friend? Volunteer, I'll pick someone. Bestie? Oh, Sarah, I think I'll be besties with you. Right? This is your new spot. Right? Sorry? Oh, I can move you on the thing. And Rachel, you do a lot of chatting over there as well. So I think Rachel... No, shh, listen, there's always chatter coming. No, not that one, that's Shauna's spot, or me spot. You have to sit here, please. Sorry. Borrow log tables, yes. Rachel, I'm going to shove you right over to the wall there, because then if you want to talk to Shawnee, you really have to shout and we'll all hear your news. Right to the wall behind Sophie. Right? And I might move a few more people as time goes on, because I have to see who's chatting, but that corner annoyed me today. Right? Okay? So this is your new spots, okay? And we're besties. So we'll swap numbers there in a while. Right? Okay? So this is 4 to the power of, this is 2 to the power of, okay? So you change both of them so they're what? 2 to the power of. So what will I make 4? 2 to the power of what? 2, and that's all to the power of what? X minus 1. Right? Equals 2 to the power of x plus 1. Now just be careful of this one. Right? Okay? Now to raise a power to a power, you multiply, don't you? So you have to multiply both terms by 2. Right? To multiply 2 by x minus 1, you have to multiply the x by the 2 and the minus 1 by the 2. So what will I end up with there? 2x minus 2. Is that clear to everyone? Right? Yes, no. Yeah, right, okay. So I've changed the 4 to a 2 to the power of 2, all to the power of x minus 1. Is that right? So you have to multiply 2 by x minus 1. So don't forget to multiply each term by 2. Some people just multiply the x by the 2 and think they're wonderful, but they're not. Right? So it's 2 to the power of 2 by x is 2x, 2 to the power minus 1 is minus 2. Is that right? Okay, and over here 2 to the power of x plus 1. Right, when you get to here, you knock off the 2's and you get 2x minus 2 equals x plus 1. Is that right? Okay, and then you build your wall. X is on one side, so there's an extra x term that we'd never had before, and extra numbers. So you have to move everything around. X is on the left, numbers on the right. Okay, sorry, that looks wrong. Okay, so I had an equal sign, I just built a wall. Okay, so 2x stays put, minus 2 is moving, x is moving, 1 stays put. Minus 2 comes over and becomes plus 2. X goes the other way and becomes minus x. So 2x take away x is x, and 1 plus 2 is 3, and that's your answer. Okay? Right. Okay. The last section in the chapter is surds, girls. There's no questions on the test on surds because you can do all of those on calculator, okay? And also remember, I left out a section. I kind of left it out by accident, but I'm not going back doing it now, so I'll do it next year. Right, okay? So I left out section 3.3, so you can leave that out when you're revising. So when you're revising, leave out 3.3 and leave out 3.9, okay? So no 3.3 and no 3.9, okay? Is that alright? Okay, and as regards the rest of the class, you're on your own, you're revising yourself, and if you have questions for me, ask them. Yeah, I can answer that question. So if you have questions for me, yeah. Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. Did you all hear that? Okay, because that's really important for a lot of you in the room. If the question says solve, you can use the minus b formula. If the question says factorize, you have to use the brackets. Okay? Right? So do you all hear that? If it says solve, use the minus b. It doesn't matter whether you can use the brackets or not, just use the minus b. If it says factorize, you can't. If it says factorize, you stop. If it says factorize, you stop at the brackets. Right, you stop at the brackets. You don't need, your last line will not read x equals a number. Okay? Yes?
You know when you do the minus for a way to solve, can you not work through that?
Yeah, you can, but are you going to remember to, you know, like if you do the minus b formula, you end up with one answer is 2 and the other answer is minus 1. I made it very easy now for myself. What you have to do, if you want to work your way back, you have to say x is equal to 2, x equals minus 1, so that means that was originally x minus 2 equals 0, and this was originally x plus 1 equals 0. So the factors are x minus 1 times x plus 1. So if you do all that for me, great, right, okay, but the chances of people remembering to do that bit are slim, so that's why I'm saying don't use the minus b. But if you want to use the minus b and you're able to do this bit, do it, right? Any more questions for me? Right, keep revising, so I'll stop recording. Yes. Yes.